Today, something amazing happened. The world watched as history unfolded before our eyes, and the excitement was felt everywhere, from mission control to living rooms around the globe. Imagine a rocket as tall as a skyscraper, the most powerful ever built, soaring through the sky with a thunderous roar. This is Starship, SpaceX's bold vision for the future of space travel, and it's unlike anything we've seen before. On its 10th test flight, Starship achieved something incredible. It flew almost all the way around the Earth, braving the intense heat of re-entry, and then landed softly in the Indian Ocean. This was a journey that pushed the boundaries of what's possible. This wasn't just another launch, it was a message to the world. Humanity is gearing up to return to the moon and one day, venture to Mars. Each successful flight brings us closer to exploring new worlds. Space fans everywhere held their breath, witnessing a giant leap for this giant rocket. The anticipation was electric, and the sense of wonder was shared by millions. For years, SpaceX has built, tested, and sometimes watched their giant rocket explode in spectacular fashion. Each setback was met with determination, not defeat. Each test was a lesson, a step forward on a difficult journey. The engineers and scientists at SpaceX have faced countless challenges, but every failure taught them something new. Think of it like learning to ride a bike. You fall, get scraped, but get back on because you know you can do it. Every fall is a chance to improve, and every attempt brings you closer to success. Engineers at SpaceX have been learning from every flight, making Starship stronger and more reliable. They pore over data, tweak designs, and work tirelessly to solve problems, always striving for perfection. Today's successful splashdown is the reward for all that hard work. It's proof that persistence pays off, and that dreams can become reality with enough effort and innovation. It's the moment the training wheels came off, and Starship showed it could complete its full mission profile. The team's dedication has finally paid off, and the world is taking notice. This success opens a new chapter in space exploration. It's a turning point that will inspire future generations to look up and dream even bigger. Starship is not just any rocket, it's designed to be completely reusable like an airplane. This means it can fly, land, and then fly again, making space travel more sustainable. Most rockets are used once and then discarded, which is expensive and wasteful. For decades, this has been the norm, limiting how often we can reach for the stars. By making a rocket that can fly again and again, SpaceX is making space travel cheaper and more accessible. This breakthrough could open the door for more people to experience space, not just astronauts. This means we can dream bigger, like building cities on Mars or bases on the moon. The possibilities are endless, and the future is full of promise. Today's flight proved that this dream is not just a fantasy. It's a real goal that we are moving closer to with every successful mission. The successful flight and splashdown are a huge milestone on this exciting path. Each achievement builds momentum, inspiring more innovation and ambition. This isn't just a victory for SpaceX, it's a victory for everyone who dreams of what lies beyond. It's a reminder that when we work together, we can accomplish the extraordinary. Today, the future of space travel feels brighter than ever. The journey has just begun, and the next giant leap is already on the horizon. After traveling for over an hour, Starship had crossed continents and oceans, soaring through the upper atmosphere at incredible speeds, its journey being tracked by millions around the world. The moment of truth arrived, and all eyes were glued to the screens as the final phase of the mission began. The Starship upper stage, having survived the intense heat and pressure of re-entry, was now gliding smoothly towards its final destination, the vast expanse of the Indian Ocean, thousands of kilometers from its launch site. On screens, we saw live video from a camera mounted on Starship's fin, providing a breathtaking perspective of the descent. The view was absolutely stunning. The gentle curve of the Earth, the endless deep blue ocean below, and the ship's massive fins constantly adjusting its path with precision. It was a silent, graceful descent, a stark contrast to the thunderous roar and fiery spectacle of the launch just an hour earlier. As Starship got closer and closer to the water, tension in mission control rose to a fever pitch. Every second felt like an eternity. Would the ship stay in one piece? Would the landing systems work as planned, or would something go wrong at the last moment? Then, with incredible control and precision, Starship performed its final dramatic belly flop maneuver, flipping itself horizontally to slow its descent. The engines ignited in a perfectly timed burn, slowing the vehicle down just before it touched the ocean's surface, sending plumes of steam and spray into the air. It was a beautiful, controlled, and gentle splashdown, almost serene considering the immense forces at play. The moment Starship hit the water, cheers erupted in SpaceX's mission control. Relief and joy swept through the room as years of hard work paid off. The ship remained intact, floating upright for a few moments, a testament to its engineering, before tipping over as planned, signaling the end of its historic flight. This was a massive success, proving that Starship can not only survive the journey, but also perform a precise powered landing, paving the way for future missions to the Moon, Mars, and beyond. The journey to today's perfect splashdown was paved with spectacular failures. SpaceX has a philosophy test: fly, fail, learn, and repeat. The early Starship prototypes often ended in what SpaceX called rapid unscheduled disassemblies, or explosions. These tests focused on mastering the difficult belly flop landing maneuver. Many attempts ended in fireballs, but each explosion was a treasure trove of data. They learned about engine relighting, fuel pressures, and aerodynamics. This fast-paced approach allowed SpaceX to solve hard problems quickly. The first orbital test flights brought new challenges. The first integrated flight ended after a few minutes when engines failed. For the second flight, SpaceX made hundreds of improvements. Today's success was earned through a series of very loud, fiery lessons. The day began with anticipation at Starbase, SpaceX's facility in South Texas. The giant, gleaming rocket stood tall on its launch pad, venting clouds of super-chilled liquid oxygen. For hours, the launch team worked through a checklist, loading propellant into both the Super Heavy booster and the Starship upper stage. As the countdown clock ticked into its final minute, the automated sequence took over. At T-3 seconds, the 33 Raptor engines on the Super Heavy booster began to ignite. The sound grew from a roar to a ground-shaking thunder. The world watched as the clamps released and the most powerful rocket ever built began to climb. Starship, weighing over 5,000 tons, lifted off with surprising speed. The first few minutes of the flight are the most critical, known as Max Q. Starship passed through this phase flawlessly, continuing its climb. It was a flawless start to a historic mission. One of the most visually spectacular and technically challenging parts of a Starship launch is the process known as hot staging. This dramatic moment is not only a feast for the eyes, but also a crucial step in the mission's success. During hot staging, the Starship upper stage actually ignites its engines while it's still attached to the Super Heavy booster. This means the engines roar to life before the two stages have even separated, creating a powerful and fiery spectacle. For a brief but intense moment, both the Super Heavy booster and the Starship upper stage are firing their engines at the same time. The result is a breathtaking display of raw power, with twin plumes of fire and smoke streaming from both vehicles. This maneuver isn't just for show, it's designed to push the Starship away from the booster, making the separation process smoother and more reliable. By using the force of its own engines, Starship can quickly and safely distance itself from the massive booster below. Immediately after this fiery separation, the two giants begin their own separate journeys. The Starship heads for orbit, while the Super Heavy booster prepares for its return to Earth. The Starship continues its climb toward the edge of space, accelerating rapidly. Meanwhile, the Super Heavy booster must perform a dramatic flip maneuver, turning itself around in mid-air to prepare for its descent. The booster's job is far from over. It must execute a controlled boost back burn, flying back over the Gulf of Mexico to set up for a landing test. This phase is critical for demonstrating reusability. In this test, the booster executed its landing maneuver perfectly, performing a soft splashdown in the ocean and remaining upright. This is a huge achievement for SpaceX's engineering team. The successful booster landing is just as important as the Starship's journey to space. Each successful recovery brings SpaceX closer to fully reusable rockets. For the Starship system to be truly reusable, both the booster and the ship itself must return safely and be ready to fly again. This is the key to lowering the cost of space travel. By proving it can perform a precise landing burn and a gentle splashdown, SpaceX has shown they are on the verge of attempting a real catch with their launch tower in the near future. This intricate dance of the giants, launch, separation, and recovery, is a critical piece of the reusability puzzle, and it's what will make rapid, affordable spaceflight a reality. After the booster began its return, the Starship upper stage was flying on its own. It pushed itself into a suborbital trajectory, testing crucial systems for future missions. One important test was the opening and closing of the payload bay door, called the PEZ dispenser. This payload bay is large enough to carry satellites, habitats, or even 100 people. The door was opened in space to test its mechanism in zero gravity. After staying open for a few minutes, the door was successfully closed and latched. This was a vital demonstration for launching the next generation of SpaceX's Starlink satellites. Another important test was an internal propellant transfer. Future missions will require refueling Starship in orbit. On this flight, SpaceX performed a small-scale test, moving propellant between tanks. This test provided crucial data for designing systems needed for orbital refueling. After coasting through space, Starship began its fall back to Earth. This is the most dangerous part: atmospheric re-entry. As the ship hit the atmosphere, friction generated incredible heat. The ship is protected by a shield of black hexagonal ceramic tiles. On previous flights, tiles broke off, causing a loss of control. For Flight 10, SpaceX upgraded the thermal protection system. As Starship descended, live video showed the ship enveloped in plasma. The ship remained stable, using its fins to steer like a skydiver. Seeing Starship survive this trial by fire was a moment of triumph. Why land in the Indian Ocean? It's a strategic decision. It's about safety, ensuring the rocket comes down far from populated areas. The Indian Ocean offers a vast, empty stretch of water. The trajectory makes it a logical endpoint, maintaining a safe corridor. A water landing is simpler and safer than a land landing. The Indian Ocean splashdown was a crucial classroom for the future. Today's successful flight is a giant leap for humanity in space. This flight was a key step in qualifying Starship for NASA's Artemis program. NASA has chosen Starship to land the next astronauts on the moon. Before NASA puts astronauts on board, SpaceX must prove Starship is safe. The ultimate goal for Starship is Mars, to build a self-sustaining city. A fully reusable rocket is the only way to transport the needed cargo and people. Every successful test brings that vision closer to reality. The next steps for SpaceX will be to analyze data and prepare for the next flight. We can expect more flights, tests of orbital refueling, and new Starlink satellites. Starship is more than just a rocket. It is a symbol of our desire to explore. The journey is just beginning.